My new book, Pillars for Life, A Guide to Spiritual Ethics and Practice, is now out and available for you to read and purchase. You can check out our website, willowhealing.org, to find a link, or you can find it on Amazon. We look forward to getting your feedback, and if you love it, please leave a review and share with your friends. Now it's time for the show. Welcome to Willow Healing Matters, the podcast. We are so excited to have you joining us on this journey where we explore different ways to empower your soul, whether it's healing in your kitchen or all the way up in the corporate world. Come with us as we look into different ways to heal your mind, body, and soul.
Hey everyone, it's Catherine from Willow Healing Matters, and today I am here with Rhiannon Heins, and she is an intuitive channel, a devoted healer, and a best-selling author and founder of the Intuitive Rebirth Healing Revolution. So Rhiannon focuses on dedicating her life to her soul work and underpinning her vision at every stage of her journey. It has been a deep and sacred desire for her to lead through her heart and to surrender to the mystery of the ever unfolding path ahead of her. So a big welcome to the show, Rhiannon, and I'm so delighted to have you.
Hey, Catherine. Thanks so much for having me.
And after surviving much technical difficulties, we are now connected, which is amazing.
Yeah, it was a journey.
It was a journey. That's right. The ever unfolding path. Here we are. So, so I guess my first question is, like, were you always kind of spiritually in tune, or was it a reawakening journey that you went through?
Well, when I was a child, I was very spiritually attuned, just like I think all children are. And there was a period of forgetting who I was because I think as children, as teenagers, the school system, high school, it kind of requests us to try and become something that society wants us to be. So there was a period where I had to sort of forget who I was. But when I was like 13, 14, 15, I wrote a lot of poetry from my heart. I remember I used to submit them to little online poetry competitions, and I used to love writing, and I used to feel very connected. And I actually remember one of the poems, and it was about angels, and it was very sweet, you know. But then I was also like very, very academic. So I was really good at maths. You know, like year 11 and 12, I did accounting, and like I just aced it. I just aced it. And then I really enjoyed the praise from my teachers. And I remember one of them being like, "You should be an accountant, Rhiannon." I was like, "Yeah, I should be an accountant." And so there was a period of like pushing myself into performing because I was good at certain things. So I got like super good grades and went to a really good uni, and then got a scholarship at like an accounting firm. So this is when I was 17. I got this job at this accounting firm, and they paid for all my uni books and paid for clothes for me. It was ridiculous. If that was what someone was into, it would have been a dream. And it was so boring. It was so boring that I was just like, I gotta go get so drunk right now. And I just wanted to do anything I could to like feel something fun in my body. So I was just like, loved smoking cigarettes on my lunch break just to feel the rush of the nicotine. I was like, good. And, you know, I just wanted to feel something. And it didn't last very long. It didn't last very long. By the time I was 19, I was doing remedial massage. So I was doing body work, and so my period of forgetting who I was lasted a very short amount of time. But I kind of fixed up the job aspect very quick. But there was something still like a deep programming within me that was more around marriage and settling down and getting a mortgage. That program was like running way deeper. So I had found a way of feeling like relatively inspired by my work, but I was still deeply unfulfilled. And I had this mortgage, I had a fiance, and this is all by like age 22. I was like tick, 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 super high achiever in the game of life. Tick, tick, tick. And I just remember feeling like I've ticked every box. Like now I'm 22, I've got a job that's my passion, got a fiance, got a mortgage. Like I've done it. I've done it. I've ticked all the high performance jobs in my life. But there was a suffocation within me that was so intense that I started to ask the question from the depths of my heart. And I don't know where I was asking it or who I was asking it to, but I was like, is there more to life than whatever I've created? And then, of course, when we ask these questions, we get
Mhm.
answers and we get thrusted into directions that we never saw coming. So, age 22 to 23 was like extremely turbulent, lots of destruction, blowing up that stable relationship, walking away from that house and that whole life that I created, and just realizing that the world is my oyster. You know, I'm 23 and I can do whatever I want. I can do whatever I want. And I really did whatever I want. I went for it and I traveled and I partied and I became really spiritually kind of liberated. There was a lot of destruction, a lot of chaos, a lot of sensuality, a lot of joy, a lot of play, and a lot of awakening. So from age 24, I kind of settled a little. And now the last 10 years has been a beautiful unfolding of listening to my body, listening to my intuition, and slowly unfolding day by day into deeper and deeper alignment in all aspects of my life.
It is so beautiful. And I can so relate to your journey, Rhiannon, because I got married at 22, actually 21, 22. And, and it was like, yeah, I've got the house now and the mortgage and I'm building up this speech therapy practice. That's my background. And then it's like, I was just so numb. I was numb. I didn't, alcohol a little bit, but I was just so numb. And it's only when you start to rip off those band-aids and, like you said, implode it all, that you start to go, actually, there is more to life. There is more things that are exciting. There's more things than what we've been programmed to have. And even following your intuition and trusting that pull, even if no one else understands it, you just need to do it. Otherwise, you will end up ignoring the deep yearning of your soul and how to move forward on that path.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, your path's very similar. Well, in that respect, it's very similar, because speech therapy, you think, wow, I'm doing something really inspiring to help humanity. But if it's not quite it,
Mm.
it's not it.
Exactly. And I did giggle when you were saying how boring accounting is, because my dad's an accountant and he told all of us, like my brother, sister, and I, and went, do not do this job. That was his big thing. Like, do not do this job. It won't fulfill you. And it was funny he said that. And we all ended up in some form of weirdly humanitarian service somehow. But it's, really interesting when you feel like, because you're good at it, it's meant to be, oh, that's what you're meant to do. But just because you're good at it doesn't mean that that is your life path, because it might not be challenging either. And it might not make you want to evolve as a soul, because just because you're good at it doesn't mean that that's what you need to fulfill your soul journey.
Yeah, because we can be good at a lot of things. We can be good at so many things. But the thing that we're meant to drive our focus in this moment, which is ever unfolding. There's no set life path or life purpose, But where we direct our energy in the moment is the thing that's just really, really exciting and inspiring and makes us want to get out of bed and be like, I'm so excited to create this. And what that is going to keep changing and transforming. But we live in a world where what excites us is not important. And there's the program which is like, well, that's nice. You do that on the weekend. And if you're not happy, that's just life. That's just life. You still got to do your job.
Yeah.
And yeah, being good at something, we can bring all of those skills in to give us power and momentum in our passion, in our fire. Like my gifts and my ability to work with numbers and to have a very strong left brain as well as a very open right brain. It all comes in with my business. And I'm so grateful for that aspect of me, but I'm so grateful it's the support aspect of what lights me up, not the driving focus of my purpose.
Yeah, and I love, Rhiannon, that you brought up that you're always evolving, because we'll go through multiple identity shifts in our lives. So sometimes people will be like, "Oh, this doesn't light me up anymore," and they think, "Oh, but I've invested this time and I've learned all this stuff and, but this isn't for me anymore. And that's because our soul is forever evolving. And I like that you reflected on that too. It's just always, okay, well, what does light me up now? And do I need to shift to that? And it doesn't mean those skills will go away like you had with accounting. It's still there in some way supporting you on your journey. It's just in that toolbox, it's a skill set that you have so that you can keep stepping forward and keep following what lights you up and keep going on that intuitive journey of, all right, what am I doing next? And if you become complacent, if you become complacent and think, oh yeah, I've got it all figured out, the universe will make sure to throw in a spanner to make sure that you have to keep evolving on some level.
Yeah, but also maybe not. Maybe not. Like never have it all figured out, but also we can find the quiet peace in kind of having figured out that we know nothing.
Yeah,
Having figured out that it is. Yeah, so and in that we stay open and curious, and yeah, I do think we do have these spanners thrown at us to kind of keep us evolving and questioning what doesn't serve us. And then we get to a point where the nudges that move us forward are more gentle. They're more gentle. Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, so my healing work is
such a
an
beautiful
incredible
reminder,
evolution.
Rhiannon,
As I
and
said,
it's so
from
true because
age 19,
you do have to have the courage to step
I
out of
was
the
deep in the
framework
world
you've
of
been
body
given
work.
and to trust your intuition.
And
Like,
then by age
hey,
22,
I don't know why, but I feel to
I
put my
was
hands on
actually a
their feet right
lecturer.
now.
So
Or
I was
I feel
working at a
to,
college lecturing in remedial
wave
massage and
something
different
over their
body
head,
work. So
or I'm going to
like I've
drum.
been
I'm going to drum.
thrusted very
Whatever
fast
it might
along
be
this
that pops up. And exactly like you
path
said,
where I
it's
got
that
to activate
courage and
my own
allowing,
mastery as a teacher
and
and as a
being,
healer.
we're all here with these
But
unique
what's
souls with these
taken it
unique
to
gifts,
where it is
but we
now
also have unique
is
soul lineage as well. And you're going to have different
the
aspects that
deep,
people can't
deep
always explain why you
courage
do it. But like you
to
said, when you
do the
embrace
real
that and
inner
allow
work, not
and
just
be
on
open,
myself,
then
but
that
with
is when
others.
you do have the most
And I
impact on
was
the healing
actually
and get through
reflecting
all
on
those
this
layers.
morning because the singing bowls is something that I use as like an integrative tool because the sessions that take place are very, very big, very deep. So at the end, the singing bowls is just like a massage of integration. But the work that I do now and the way that I serve as a healer is very much what I teach with intuitive rebirth. And it's that when we become so open as vessels, as channels, and we get ourselves completely out of the way, and we don't even have the question of who am I and what do I serve, how do I serve, and what is my identity as a healer. We just let that all go. And we just be nothing and no one, just a pure channel. And we set a divine intention. How may I serve this person? Because every person's soul, like your souls, come here with a clear path, a clear reason for existence. You have an impact, an impact that you have to leave in this humanity, in this world. And there are so many things that can disrupt and distort that path. So with this pure intention, it's like in devotion to that soul, in devotion to the soul, it's like, how may I serve you? How may I serve you? What disharmony has disrupted your path? What energies are there clouding your mind and your judgment? What traumas have left an impact in your energetic field that aren't allowing you to be clear and open and receptive to your path? And with that intention and being an open channel, what happens in the space is beyond anything that I can actually describe with words. Because when there is that much love and allowing, every single thing that has been hiding in the shadows will be revealed. So in the face of that open space, that pure intention, there is a lot of exorcism, entity clearing, disentanglement from dark forces. That has taken place once the field is open and clear and back to its organic state, which is just love. There's a sacred remembering of the soul, of the spirit, and there is a simple joy, like a gentle tear that rolls down the cheek. I'm home. So then the singing bowls is like, yes, you are home. Yeah. Exactly. And it's beautiful that you're working with the plants and the animal spirits, because anything and everything wants to come through. So
beautifully
many
put. So beautifully put,
benevolent
Rhiannon.
beings
And it is about trust.
that want
It's
to
that
assist us to awaken
building that
different dormant
self-trust with
aspects of
ourselves again,
ourselves.
to
And they're all
coming back
there.
to what
And
we
when
started
we're,
at,
like you
follow your
say,
intuition.
Catherine, when we're
Because
open
when
and
you
receptive, we
can't
get
trust
to
yourself,
work
then
with
it's
all
really
those
hard to have
different
that courage as
energies.
well.
And it's a beautiful dance, having the honor
And look at us
of this
both clearing
role
our throat chakras
at this time in our life.
We're like, what was I going to say? I've lost my train of thought now. They're like, ask about your book. There we go. Thank you. Tell us about your book.
Yeah, that's exactly it. But the piece that you obviously have, Catherine, that most healers struggle with is the courage to do whatever you know you need to do. Because a lot of healers, perhaps people listening in right now, perhaps you are a breathwork practitioner, or you've studied Reiki or something like that, and you've got this framework that you're working within.
Mm.
And when you're in the middle of your process, your framework, there might be like this deep desire to like make a sound, like a tone. And if that doesn't if that doesn't come through, what you might feel as a healer, as a space holder, is like restriction in your throat. Or you might have a deep desire to move your hands in a way that you never have before. Or you might have a deep knowing that you need to say something, a very activating set of words. But when we don't trust ourselves, we hold back. When there's judgment there, we hold back. What about if what I say is wrong? What about if this person thinks I'm weird? What about if my sound comes out croaky and they don't think it's any good? And that's why doing this work as an intuitive healer, the depth of space that we can hold in for another really depends on the depth of where we're willing to meet our own fears, our own doubts, and our own unworthiness. So the more we, as healers, as space holders, meet every single layer of ourselves, the more our sessions become that impactful to hold and meet every single layer within someone else. Yeah, absolutely. And what is happening now on the earth is a very, very intense and rapid remembering of ancient truths of the earth. So everything that we've been shown and told about what our history is, about what this earth realm is, about what this humanity is, like anything that we've been told is basically bullshit. The truth of the earth is so beautiful. It is so raw. It is so filled with love. It holds the frequency, the earth, the mother. She holds the frequency of oneness, true oneness with the human family. And the human family, there is one sound. The earth, there is this one incredible sound, this song, this language, this frequency that wants to rise up through every single man, woman, and child to liberate the earth, to liberate all suffering, and so that we can remember the truth of who we are. So as we are holding these intuitive spaces as healers, if we keep doing that, keep showing up and keep showing up and keep showing up, the spaces, what's happening within the healing space is becoming probably more and more intense, because every single part of the body that has resisted the primal truth of what it means to be a human being on planet Earth is going to be illuminated. So there is going to be, at the moment, in all healing spaces held in the name of pure love, very, very intense trauma releases, very, very intense spontaneous Kundalini activation, incredible spontaneous activation of the throat. Ancient songs are rising up spontaneously through the open channel of everybody
I
who
love
is
that so
willing to do
much
the deep inner
because
work.
I recently
And
published a book too,
these
and I
sounds are coming through. You could call it light
the
language
book,
if
and
you
it just
want, but
evolved and evolved, and I actually had to
it's
go
beyond
learn
that.
as I was
It's
channeling
the
it through, because I'm like, I
true
don't
sound
actually know this. Like,
frequency
what's this about?
of
I
a
had to go research
remembered
and that sort of thing, which was really cool. But
humanity.
when spirit gives you that kick in the
So
back, Like I literally got
in
a
order
kick in the back.
to
Like, you need to get this book out. You've got
experience
this
all that
information.
magic, every
You do.
single
You just
part of the
become a
body
conduit,
that's
and it just
resisted that
all comes
is
together.
going to be
And like you said,
illuminated in these
the
kind of
magic of now
spaces
that
that
you've
we're
got that book, you're
holding
not even, it's still selling somehow because
in
it's just
any healing
woven its
session that's
way
hold
into
with love.
needing to land
So,
into different
yeah,
people's
to
hands,
anyone of
which
your
is so beautiful
listeners
in
that's either
itself.
a space holder, like you might see that your sessions are getting weirder and wilder, and that's where you need to open to courage.
Yeah,
You have to
it's
open to
funny because I
courage
was just like, no,
because
getting it done. It was
it
just
is love that
it's funny, but
transmutes all
that's a whole
fear.
other story. But as
So
we
you're going to
start
see
to
fear
finish
and you're
our
going to
time
feel
together,
fear
Rhiannon,
as it
I
arises
asked the guests
within
that come on the show,
the
if you could
body of everyone
change
that
or
you
heal
serve.
something in the world,
And you're
what
going
would
to
it
need to
be?
keep your heart open to hold love to transmute those fears. And within our own healing journey, anyone that's listening within your own healing journey, the gifts and the powers that are going to start to arise through your body are going to be overwhelming. They're going to feel foreign, and at times they're going to feel scary, because the true power of what it means to be human is being activated and remembered. And it requires us to all collectively open our hearts and keep dissolving our fears and trusting who we are. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Yeah, well, I've got two books. The first one that I channeled is called The Keepers of the Light Codes. When did I? That came through in 2021, and I released that in 2022.
Yeah, I
And
wholeheartedly agree. It's so true. And as
that
a
is a
parent myself,
very
I do find myself
beautifully
catching the
simple,
default to, how we were brought up and
beautifully
being
simple
reactionary. And when
channeled
you can have that sacred pause
text
and
that's
actually
full
go,
of
"Sh- no,
practices and
hang on,
integrative
if I
tools.
come from a place of
And when
love,
I
how can I
say it's
look at this?
simple, I mean
It
the
does completely change
message
your
is
perspective
simple,
and how you
but
approach that
our
situation.
remembering of it within every cell of our body is not simple, because there's so much resistance. And when I say the message is simple, the message is that it's like we are it. The everything that you're trying to become, the ascended version, everything that we're trying to
Could you
heal
imagine?
and let go
Wow.
of
Imagine
and
the
step
energy.
into,
Imagine. Oh
it's
my
all
goodness.
here in the now. It's all accessible here in the now.
And where can people
And
come and find you,
actually,
Rhiannon, if they want to
our
work with you? I know
greatest
you have a free
remembering,
gift as well, which I'll
healing,
make sure
and
to put in the show
homecoming
notes.
exists in this perfect moment where we just exhale and just like let go. And just stop trying to be someone. And then we realize that we're it, and we already have always been it. And there is an incredible opening to the divine that happens in that process. So the Keepers of the Light Codes is this journey inward through all the layers of the muck that stop us from being able to do that, because it sounds so simple, but there are so many layers of resistance that come up.
Beautiful. And I'll make
That
sure
maybe,
everything's there so
as
people
you're
can
listening,
find
maybe
you.
someone could even
And thank you
feel
so much,
the
Rhiannon,
layers of
for
resistance within
being a
themselves. They're
channel
like, what
and
about
for
that
sharing your
trauma?
love and
Or
your
what
rebirth
about my
practice with
mind? Or
the
what about
world.
my
And
doubts?
so
And
much
there's
for
these
spending
layers
this
and
time with
layers and
me. Thank
layers.
you
So it's
so
a
much.
beautiful, simple, amazing soul reminder. And I don't know who is getting this book out there. Well, I do, but I have stopped have never really marketed this book. I did at the start in 2022, and this book is just weaving. It's just weaving. There is a force getting this book out there, and I'm just in awe of whatever it is. And I think it's just like this little thing that you can hold in your hand and just turn to a page. And there's just medicine for the heart, medicine to remember, medicine to let go. And the way I channeled that book was from such like a pure state of devotion. Like I really channeled that with so much like devotion to its true channeled nature. Whereas my second book, The Intuitive Rebirth, it's channeled in a really different way that's really embodied. So the way I used to channel was very much like a sacred scribe, like I used to really prepare myself and channel like a sacred scribe. But the second book, The Intuitive Rebirth, it's really speaking to this embodied remembering of everything I spoke about before with the earth coming back through our bodies, shamanic homecoming of how do we face these inner demons? How do we face our own entities and clear our own entities? How do we master our mind when sometimes our mind is fed with programs of distortion through the collective psyche? How do we empower ourselves as creator be to carve out the life that we truly want whilst being aligned and non-attached and in love with the present moment? So the intuitive rebirth is channeled too, but it's channeled through every cell of my body. And I wasn't in this like sacred scribe energy. I was just in this like juicy embodied energy. So it comes through the energy that I was truly embodying and holding at the time that I wrote it. Whereas the Keepers of the Light Codes, as I was channeling it, I would reread it and I didn't even understand what I'd written. You know, it was beyond my level of consciousness at the time. Whereas the intuitive rebirth is just comes from this deep shamanic knowing within my body about the unseen realms and how we need to master the unseen realms to master our life. So as I said, I wrote poems when I was a teenager. Like writing is my joy, and it's such a sacred practice for me. And I just love that at these two times in my life, these books flowed through me, and now they are their own living consciousness that just weaves their way across the world. Yeah, congratulations on publishing your book. It's not an easy feat. Complicated. Well, there's not a single thing that needs to be changed in an isolated way, because one single thing changing in an isolated way would, in the long run, have no lasting impact. So, but if everyone had the capacity or the practice or the ability to remember the feeling of love in any given moment, and to pause before speaking or before acting to remember the feeling of love, it would change the way parents speak to their children, the way parents respond to their children. It would breed a new generation of human beings. It would change the way adults interact with one another at work. It would change the way politicians perform in evil and self-centered ways. And I think if everyone could just remember love in their heart and breathe into their body before thinking, before speaking, before acting, and ask the question of their heart, what would love do right now? That would change everything. Yeah. But you have to know love in order to recorrect. So I think the first change I would love to make is that everybody knows love.
So beautiful.
And I guess we can only know love by doing some healing work, or maybe a one humanity collective ayahuasca journey could be a good way to start. I think it'll be a good start. Yeah, so I do have a free gift, and that's that you can download the free ebook copy of the Intuitive Rebirth. So yeah, that will be in the show notes. But if you want to work much deeper with me, then just come over to my website, which is intuitiverebirth.com, and you can learn the intuitive rebirth healing modality, and you can actually get 10% off of the training by using the code community. And if you want to find out about working with me one-on-one, just head over to my Instagram page, which is Rhiannon Heins _ and just send me a DM.
Beautiful.
You're so welcome, Catherine. Thank you so much for having me, and thank you for all that you do in the world as well.
Thank you for listening to Willow Healing Matters, the podcast. We have so much love and gratitude that you have taken the time out of your day to empower you on your healing journey. The views shared by the person being interviewed might not necessarily reflect that of the host and should be used at your own discernment. Trust what resonates for you and follow your heart and soul guidance. If you have any underlying medical conditions or mental health issues, please consult with your healthcare provider before pursuing any of the recommendations. Likewise, you can always contact the person being interviewed to find out more information. This can be found in the show notes. Remember to activate, align, heal, empower, and find love in everything that you do.